Okay, we're going to talk about how to calculate a factorial. The factorial is this symbol right here. Looks like an exclamation point. What a factorial means to do is you start with the number that's given and you multiply it by every number smaller than that until you get to 1. So for example, 8 factorial means you'd start at 8 and you multiply it again by every single number smaller than that. So you just go down until you reach 1. So 8 factorial means 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and you would just multiply those in a string. Now if you were to do 8 factorial, you would get 40,320. So these do get very big very fast, okay, when you're working with factorials. One other thing you'll want to know that you will want to write down and have in your mind is 0 factorial, as opposed to what we might think that that's just 0, but the rule is that 0 factorial is always equal to 1. Okay, so that's something that you will want to have written down, because if you forget, it's going to mess you up on some problems. Okay, so 0 factorial is equal to 1 always. So if we're asked to simplify an expression, such as this, 5 factorial squared, remember our order of operations, we do parentheses first, so we would do 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 first, and then we'll square it. So if we multiply those together, we get 120, and then 120 squared gives us 14,400. Now, there should be a factorial button on your calculator. On my calculator, it's a second function. I have to push my shift key to use it, and it looks like this. It's an X with a factorial sign. I've also seen calculators that use the letter N with a factorial, and I've also seen calculators that just have a plain factorial, either as the button or as the second function. See if you have that on your calculator, and if so, go ahead and use it. If not, happy multiplying. Okay, it's a pretty simple topic. It just takes some time to multiply out if you don't have the button, but it's doable as long as we're in smaller numbers. Okay, here we're asked to simplify this expression. Now you could put into your calculator 12 factorial divided by 8 factorial. Okay. Or one way to simplify this is, remember that 12 factorial means to do 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8, okay, and so on. It takes a while. Make sure you have all of the numbers in there, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, all the way to 0, or to 1, excuse me. The bottom is 8 factorial, so that would be 8, 7, 6, 5. Now, as I write these down, notice that the cool thing about dividing factorials is whichever number is smaller. Notice on the bottom I have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the top I also have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So actually I can divide into those and cancel. So all I'm left with is my top of 12 times 11 times 10 times 9. Now if you were to plug it into your calculator like this, or if you were to simplify and do this multiplication, you will get exactly the same answer. But that's one technique for simplifying factorials that comes in very handy when you have a fraction that has a factorial in the top and in the bottom. Okay, so here's another one, 8 factorial divided by 3 factorial, 2 factorial, 1 factorial. These would all be multiplied together. So again, you can use your calculator to find that. Just be really careful with your order of operations. You would probably want to make sure you either multiplied the bottom together first and then divided, or did 8 factorial divided by and put this portion in parentheses. Okay, we can also just go ahead and simplify it. Okay, so we would write out what 8 factorial means. Okay, on the bottom we have a 3 factorial, so 3 times 2 times 1, then 2 factorial, 2 times 1, and 1 factorial, which is just 1. Okay, What can we cancel? Well, we have a 3, 2, 1 in the top and a 3, 2, 1 in the bottom. You can reduce a bit more if you want, or you can go ahead and write down what you have left. Okay, on the bottom, all I had was 2 times 1 times 1, which is just 2. So you could go ahead and multiply the top there. And that gives you 6,720, and then divide that by 2. Okay, so whether you put it in your calculator initially and just found the answer this way, or whether you wrote it out and simplified, you should get 3,360 either way. All right, here's another. 9 factorial divided by 4 to the third times 2 factorial. Again, you can just put the operations in your calculator, or you can write it out and simplify. Okay, if you're having trouble with your calculator, let your teacher know. Otherwise, I'm going to show you how you would simplify it without just plugging those values into your calculator. Okay, so we have 9 factorial on the top, which is 9 times 8 times 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the bottom, we have 4 to the third, which remember means 4 times 4 times 4, and then times 2 factorial, which would mean 2 times 1. Okay, we can cancel the 2 times 1, okay, and the 2 times 1. We can cancel a 4 here, and we can cancel a 4 here. Now, you could reduce into your 8 more if you wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it. So on the top, I have 9, 8 times 5, and don't forget that 3 that was also left there. We're going to divide that by our 4 times 4 that was remaining in the bottom. So on the top, I have my 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 3, which gives me 45,360 divided by 16, and I get 2,835. Okay, so those are some examples of working with simplifying factorials.